And welcome to John Young for the regular meeting of the board. 2.02 is the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Adelcia and Alexis that is going to lead us in the pledge. If you please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. 2.03 is the adoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the agenda for September 10th, 2025 regular meeting of the board be approved as presented. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 3 is recognition. 3.01, John Young Middle School presentation. Mrs. Cummings.
And just like that, it fell. Good evening and welcome to John Young Middle School. President Parks, Dr. Stevens, and esteemed board members. We are excited to have all of you here this evening. So we have some slides we're going to go through this evening, and I am not going to take up all of the time because that would be boring. But if you will look to the screen, you will see that we have our Jaguar up there with the statement, choose excellence. So that is our platform this year here at John Young. And we have talked daily with all of our students. We are having the conversations consistently that you wake up every day and you make choices. And those choices are impactful and they have outcomes. They can be positive or negative. And we are continually having conversations about waking up, choosing excellence in our academics and our behavior here and our interactions with others because it resonates throughout life. So we are choosing excellence and we are moving feverishly into that here at John Young. How do I change it? Okay, you got me. All right. So when I say we're moving feverishly into that, I want to talk a little bit about one of the biggest changes that we've had here this year. Last year, we were block scheduled, which meant our students had 74-minute class periods and then only saw their teachers every other day. We did an immense amount of work with our staff all together, worked hard, put together an 8-period schedule. It is fast-paced. It is an enormous change. Our students meet daily with all of their teachers. It has increased the engagement. It has added instructional minutes that the students will receive for all of their subject areas for the year. And it's also given us some very new setups. We've had the opportunity for our 7th graders. They all take some practical skills classes where they learn how to write emails that are appropriate, that don't read like text messages. They are learning the skills to look up their own grades, how to contact their teachers appropriately. We also have all of our 7th graders taking a digital citizenship class in this ever fast-paced world where technology is surpassing us by the minute. It's important to know what their digital footprint is and that impact on them now and in the future. And then for our 8th graders, last year at John Young, our students were offered the opportunity to take CTE classes, and this preps them for the pathways that they will be on when they get to high school at Mishawaka. And so last year, each of our 8th graders had the opportunity to take 2 CTE classes, so that limited their experience and just kind of what they were being exposed to. This year with our 8-period day, all of our 8th graders are taking all 4 CTE classes and will leave us at John Young with 4 credits towards their high school diplomas when they end their 8th grade year. So some exciting opportunities that this has offered us. I definitely can say my staff sitting in here, thanks to them for being here because, again, it is a fast-paced day and most of them as I told them the first day that we met, are probably gonna go home and nap often for the first few months, because again, we start the day, we blink a couple times and it's over, but the engagement is up, the excitement of students, and I think the impact is it's gonna be far-reaching. So it's a very exciting time. One of the other awesome impacts that it has is an opportunity that's offered our band and orchestra classes. And at this time, I'm gonna invite Mr. Roberts up to speak about that. And we have some kiddos that are gonna come up, and I'm gonna step away.
I'm not gonna say a whole lot about that, but I'll try to cut to the chase so you can hear the important part behind me. So the changes with the 8-period day has impacted band and orchestra we see these kids every day, and they're getting to play more. We've also been it's given us the flexibility. The administration has graciously allowed us to differentiate at our first year level, where we have all of our woodwind kids, flute, clarinet, saxophone are in a class, and all of our brass kids that play trumpet, French horn, trombone, baritone, tuba are in a class, and we have our percussionists in a class, which not only lets the kids learn at a faster pace, it puts us equal to programs like Carmel and Avon, places like that are excelling at the top in the nation in my field. We're on equal footing with them when it's as far as time and what we're doing, which gives these kids a great opportunity. It's also allowing us to tap into our staff talents even also. I'm a brass player, Miss Flanagan is a woodwind player, and Mr. Chamberlain with his schedule is able to come over pretty frequently, and he's a percussionist. So it puts our kids in getting the best knowledge that we can provide them, and it allows us to work with brass-focused skills and not have a woodwind kid throwing an instrument in the air or spinning a pencil or doing something silly and bored while we're working with another kid. We're able to go a lot faster. Yesterday, I told Mr. Chamberlain, hey, we've already done this, and he looked at me and was like, what, you have? So we're way ahead of schedule with where we're at, and the kids are making progress that I'm blown away by daily because of it, because we're getting repetition and just daily impact. So without further ado, this is our 8th grade percussion ensemble. They're gonna play a piece for you that they did last year at ISMA contest. And the neat thing about this everyday contact is these kids are learning leadership skills that I literally could have said, hey, go work in the SRA, and left them, and they would have done it, moved everything. Like, I literally sat in a chair over there and listened and enjoyed it when they practiced this afternoon. So this is our 8th grade percussion.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. So the next thing I want to highlight, I think that, so I love going into the classrooms and seeing the things going on, right? And I went in the other day and was awed by the fact that the kids were so far along already. And so I wanted to take the opportunity because I think it was very important to highlight that. And I'm excited to see what it looks like, at the end of the year, middle of the year, when we have our concerts. Another thing I want to highlight, we have a ton of kids participating all over this building. If you pulled up tonight, you noticed our parking lot was full. We have volleyball going on. Right now, we have 227 students participating in 5 fall sports. That's 30% of our school. Those students not participating in sports are currently seeking other opportunities. We have 7 clubs already started: art, board games, book club, crafters corner, disc golf, international club, and the kindness club. We have 2 more starting soon, anime and esports, and we are looking to up the percentage of kids we have participating in other things because, again, idle kids, not so great, but we got them going, right? And we're offering them things that they're interested in. And then we have academic teams. We have 4 teams starting currently: Spell Bowl, robotics, national history, and our Super Bowl team. So we have lots of great things going on here at John Young, and we're super excited about it. It's on his phone. All right, next up, in the final part of our presentation this evening, I have Mrs. Fowler and Mr. Wicker. They are leading the way here at John Young with Our Leader in Me. And so I invite them up to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, members of the board. My name is Alicia Fowler. I'm the school social worker here at John Young, and I'm also a district Leader in Me coach. I want to first of all thank my admin for inviting us to speak tonight. I'm excited to share the work with the board that we are doing here with Leader in Me at John Young. I also want to actually start with thanking my admin team for trusting me to build such an amazing lighthouse team with my members of my peers, and having the support from my admin team, and allowing us to just take ownership of the work and really kind of driving that Leader in Me bus this year. We've been able to think big and share grand ideas when we've met as a team and actually bring some of these to life, and it's been great. We know the administration and the board are behind us. That trust has made all of the difference. One of our main goals this year is to strengthen the culture of our building. We want students to see and experience Leader in Me in everything, not just in the classroom, but in the hallways, in conversation, and in the way we celebrate one another and they celebrate each other. To make that happen, this year, Rebecca thankfully helped us get a lot of stuff for the hallways for the bulletin boards. So now every hallway has at least 1 or 2 Leader in Me bulletin boards. So the kids are not just seeing the decorations, but these are tools to keep their Leader in Me vocabulary and habits visible every single day. When they're speaking in the classrooms, then they can see that in the hallway as well. One of our biggest vocab pushes was encouraging our students to discover their genius, and actually pushed this with our staff this year as well. I had all of our staff on their slides for their new slides that we put together. Each staff member had to put what their genius was, whether that was baking cookies or organization or building relationships. So we really have pushed the kids to find their genius as well. Again, whether that is the student that is really good at just cleaning desks after class or sweeping up the cafeteria, or again, a student that is able to build those relationships. We really want to push those geniuses with them this year. This work is about more than just posters and bulletin boards. Obviously, it's about creating that environment where students feel proud and they're motivated to lead. And that's really where we want to push John Young this year. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Wicker. He is our 7th grade one of our social studies teachers. He's going to share a little bit more about the JAG journal that he actually created with our team, as well as some community partnerships that are helping us.
Thank you, Ms. Fowler. I appreciate you. Hello, everybody. Oh, this is a little more formal than I usually like. Hi, everybody. It's been a while since I've been here. Every couple of years, I seem to pop out of the woodwork and tell you about something cool we have going on here at the school. It's that time again. So Ms. Fowler was gracious enough to tell us about some of the things we already have going on here in the school. I'm excited to tell you about the stuff that we have coming up next. So the JAG Journal's amazing. I feel like we, as a district, really lost community around the time of COVID. Everyone in the school district everywhere in America probably agrees with that. And we've been trying to get that back, rebuild it even better and stronger than it ever was before. And we are finally seeing that happen. Kids are coming into the classroom with ownership of their academics. Now we're trying to give them ownership of their emotions, ownership of their leadership skills. We're trying to get them metacognitive, right? Thinking about the way they think, because that's how we learn. We only learn when we're playing or in moments of discomfort. And if I have to pick one to be in my classroom, it's not going to be moments of discomfort. We should be having fun. It's social studies. So how can we take all of these skills that we're trying to teach, that we're constantly trying to push, that are soft skills, and hone them in so that they can become hard skills? And we can see this in things like paper writing, or if a kid is having a crash out, as they like to say, that might only extend for 5 minutes in one class, and then they're immediately back to work instead of they're down in the counselor's office trying to make it through their problems all day. We really want to give these kids ownership of their academics, ownership of their culture, and ownership of their emotions. And I feel like we've really, really done a good job of ownership of the academics. One of the ways we're doing that with the JAG Journal is weekly grade checks. We're going to, Miss Fowler's running a book club this year. We're also gonna put book recommendations in there and try to get them reading again. I don't know if you guys remember the summer pizza reading challenge, but that was always one of my favorite things as a kid. So little things like that help kids feel like they have control over their life. And when a kid is having a problem, it's oftentimes because they don't feel like they're in control. They don't feel like they have any understanding of why what's happening to them is happening to them. So our goal really with this project and every year that comes after with it is no student should step into this building or any other building in the district and not understand why they're here. School is not a punishment. I'm sure that we would all love to go to a building where we just learn stuff for 8 hours a day instead of having all the many, many responsibilities that we have now, right? So these students should be grateful for that opportunity, but we need to present it to them that way, as an opportunity, not a requirement, not a chore. This is an amazing place. This is my 9th or 10th year working here. I wouldn't still be here if I didn't love the way that we build culture, if I didn't love the community. I recognize a lot of faces out here. Some of you have worked in this building with me before, or, probably had to yell at me for one reason or another. I'm looking at you, Ms. Kosick. So we have a really good community here at Mishawaka. I think we can all agree with that. Now the goal is, how do we fold the children back in? We're teaching them a lot of different ways to do this, handling their emotions, reaching out, advocating for themselves, but we're also trying to partner with our community so that they can see what type of job opportunities they have around here if they stay in the area, which we hope they do. Who needs help, how they can be good leaders in the community, what type of different charity work they can do. One of the things I was really proud of last year is we took all the kids to the park in 7th grade social studies, and the worst thing that happened is one pencil ended up in the river. It's the worst thing that happened. We went to the park 3 times last year. One pencil ended up in the river, and kids learned so much. Most of these kids don't even know where their food comes from or how we use the land around us. How can we expect them to be community partners or engaged or taking care of the things around them if they don't understand what they are, why they're there, and what they're there for? One of the things that Miss Duff Batiste introduced last year that we very barely helped with at all, that was amazing, is we had a career fair day here at the school. I loved that. So many kids came through. They were talking about their future. They were excited about jobs they didn't even know existed. And as she likes to say all the time, they don't even know what they don't know. So if we don't give them these opportunities to see their neighborhood around them, to figure out positive ways to interact with it, less destructive ways to be a leader in their community, that will never happen on its own. So I am really proud of all the work that we have done so far this year. I feel like I have an amazing leadership team. Thank you guys. I would tell you if I didn't like you. I feel like we have an amazing staff of teachers this year, and everyone's really coming together. As Miss Cummings likes to say, teach like your hair is on fire. Well, I don't have any of that, but I've definitely been sweating a little bit lately, I'll tell you that. And the kids are responding well. They are very engaged. They come to school with a smile on their face, not just to see me or 1 or 2 of us, but all of their instructors, and I love that. I don't want to be the favorite. I want to have competition all the time because kids are so excited for every single opportunity they have when they get here. So I'm going to give you guys some homework. I know, I'm sorry. Please, all of you know my last name, Mr. Wicker, send me an email. So this is your school district. You're the school board. Really, that's my boss, but I mean, you guys are my boss, right? So this is your school district. What do you want it to look like? What is, or who is, I should say, a leader in your life that made a big impact? I used to think that I was completely my own person. And then one day I saw a signature from my middle school principal, and it looked exactly like I signed my name. And then I realized we're both bald. We both wear ties all the time. Our teaching style's exactly the same. Oh man, look, it's the people around us that make us. We want to make good neighbors, good community members, good partners. I can't call him a kid anymore. I had a coworker in the building last week that I taught as a middle schooler. So they're already there, and I've only been here for 9 years. It's happening to all of us. These are already our neighbors. These are already our partners. These are already our coworkers. How do we train them to be good model members of this community and have pride in what they do? I want you to send me an email that has one person who made a leadership difference in your life. Doesn't have to be super sappy. I'm curious what got you interested. What did they say that got you hooked? What did they do that made a difference? And then what do you want that to look like here? Because this is your school district just as much, if not more, than the rest of us. So let's all take some ownership. What should leadership look like at John Young? I'll be very happy to see what you think and see how we can incorporate it. And that's something we should all take pride in. Also, you're all wonderfully accomplished adult individuals. I bet you have some amazing connections for this year's career fair and other community partners that we can introduce to these kids, right? So thank you so much. I know I talked a little bit longer than I expected, but you're all awesome. I appreciate what you do here, and I feel like the kids are really, really starting to understand, why do we have to come here every day? It's not a chore anymore. They're excited. They line up outside of their hallway. They rush into their classrooms. They get their notebooks out and they're ready to learn. And that's happening all across the building. So what we built here, you should be proud of it, Ms. Cummings. I am too. And the school board, I hope that you guys are all very proud of it as well. We're only going up from here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I do have a quick question for you two. Have you seen a lot of the carryover from Leader and Me at elementary carrying over into the?
Yeah, that's actually been a fantastic change. Is when we first started Leader and Me, nobody knew what they were talking about, kids or adults, right?
Right.
And now we've had this program long enough that kids are coming here, they already understand a little bit of this vocabulary, and more importantly, they understand what we're trying to do with it.
Good.
It's not just a box they check
Right.
in a homeroom class. They're
Right.
really, really understanding the purpose.
Good.
Thank you for your question, and thank you for your time.
So our last slide is just those things that we're telling our kids constantly, and some of the things that I am saying: be kind, work hard. We are choosing excellence. If you come and visit us at John Young and it's a passing period, you will hear me say, move with purpose. Kids are saying it, chase your education. They're feeling the speed of the day, right? But they're also excited about it. And so these things are starting to resonate, not just with words, but in the kids' actions. And so we are excited about all the things going on here at John Young. We welcome anyone to come hang out, check us out, see the crazy that's going on and the excitement. Great connections being made with our adults and our kids. And again, lots of excitement about the academics. And our goal is to choose excellence, light their souls on fire for learning, and continue on. So go Jaguars. Thank you.
Thank you.
Holly, can I say something?
Yes.
I, for one, am so happy to see the 8-period day come back. So happy for that. And thank you for seeing the vision that the school needed it. And thank you to all the staff, your staff that are here, that are supporting you and have the passion to continue this. And hearing the excitement in your voices in just the first 3 weeks of school, and seeing that you guys are seeing a change, I can't imagine what the end of the year is going to look like. So congratulations.
Yes, it's not easy being the first school to host the board meetings 3 weeks in, right? So with that, it's really hard to come up with material. So I will say that having these goals and setting this path and creating this culture is huge. John Young has taken a lot of hits over the years, and I'm incredibly excited to see what the end of 2026 looks like for us. So good job, keep going, and we appreciate you all. All right. Moving on to comments and questions from the floor. 4.01, representatives of Mishawaka Parent Group. Okay. 4.02, representatives of school employees. I see her, but I don't see her. 4.03, representatives of Mishawaka Education Foundation. We have Jane, and look at her hat.
It's Miss Flamingo.
It's Miss Flamingo. Already, for the love of God. It's on my birthday.
Big game dinner auction is Paradise and the evening in Paradise, so you might see this again. For me, but something that we are asking you to be part of. So,
She never needed
oh yeah, I know. Matt always chastises me. So guys, I'm gonna leave these up on the table. We really need candy. When you talk 3,000 kids going to 25 different trunks to get a piece of candy. So this says, if you know any group, employer that might, for a couple days right before this, collect candy, wrap candy, I'll go pick it up if you just let me know. So I'm gonna leave these and take one. Yes. Oh, we want you. We want you. Yes. Great. I love to hear stuff like that. So the job fair is next Thursday at Mishawaka High. We have about 22 different businesses, nonprofits coming. You might want to stop in for the careers. And we're excited. It seems like we're doing it right because I got 2 other schools that want to come and cheat that day and find out how to do it. So, you know what? I'm glad. And don't forget, November 6th, maybe I could get you one of these to wear. So. See you later, guys.
Thank you, Jane.
And by the way, Thea, your inroads to a couple sponsors are making it happen.
Very good.
Thank you, Jane. 4.04 is general public, and no one has signed up to speak. 5 is the consent agenda. 5.01, approval of the minutes of the August 6, 2025 meeting. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the minutes for the August 6, 2025 board meeting as presented. 5.02, approval of the minutes of the August 20th, 2025 executive session. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the minutes of the August 20th, 2025 executive session as presented. 5.03, approval of the bill warrants and payroll. It is recommended that the board approve bill warrants and payroll in the amount of $6,683,750.68 from the appropriate funds. 5.04, approval of the July bank statement reconciliation report. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the July bank statement reconciliation report as presented. 5.05, approval of the ECA risk reports. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the ECA risk reports for School City of Mishawaka and Mishawaka High School as presented. 5.06, approval of the Form 9 financial report for January 1st through June 30th of 2025. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the Form 9 financial report for January 1st through June 30th, 2025 as presented. 5.07, approval of the financial transparency report. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the financial transparency report from January 1st to June 30th, 2025 as presented. 5.08, declaration of obsolete property. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees declare items listed as surplus and allow of their disposal. 5.09, approval of donations. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the donations as listed and presented. 5.10, approval of the overnight field trips. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the overnight field trips as listed and presented. 5.11, approval of the SJRMC staffing agreement for athletic trainer services. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the 5-year staffing agreement 2025 through 2030 with St. Joe Regional Medical Center for athletic trainer services as presented. 5.12, approval of the MOU with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northern Indiana Corridor. It is recommended that the board approve the MOU with the Boys and Girls Club for the employment of Monty Anderson as presented. 5.13, approval of position descriptions. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the position descriptions as presented. 5.14, approval of the Brew Buck program. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the Brew Bucks program as presented. 5.15, approval of the consent agenda. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
So moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 6, reports and discussion items, there is nothing. 7 is human resources. 7.01, personnel report, Mr. LeBon.
Thank you, President Parks. This evening, we're recommending the appointment of 8 certified and 22 classified positions. We also have 17 extra duty assignments and 3 volunteer recommendations for your review, along with another round of summer school programming recommendations. Also listed on the personnel report this evening is the naming of Mr. Brian Scoggins as the newest assistant principal at Mishawaka High School. If you recall, the board approved an intent to employ at last month's meeting, and we're excited to welcome Brian to Mishawaka High School. He's been a great addition and has kicked the year off really well. Finally, tonight on the personnel report is the retirement of Mrs. Susan Long. Susan has been a valued member of the SCM Food Services Department for the last 24 years. She has diligently served as the head cashier right here at John Young, and we are grateful for her years of dedicated service to the corporation. That said, on behalf of the board and the admin team, we wish Susan all the very best and thank her for her many years of service. As always, happy to answer any questions, but it's recommended the board approve the personnel report dated September 10th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7.02, approval of employment with individual employees. Mr. LeBon.
Thank you, President Parks. Pursuant to Indiana Code, it is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve employment with the individuals as listed in the administrative content.
So moved. So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And then we move on to 8, which is curriculum instruction and technology, 8.01, 2025-2026 iRead results. Dr. Stockstill.
Thank you. Good evening, President Parks, Dr. Stevens, members of the boards, and guests. Annually, our students take the Indiana Reading Evaluation and Determination Assessment, and today we're going to look at our 2nd grade and 3rd grade results specifically from last school year. Before we look at our results, I will show you Indiana. This chart shows the performance of 3rd grade students for long term, meaning that when you look at each bar, it represents a year in which the assessment was given and the percent of students from Indiana 3rd grade that passed iRead. What you'll see prior to COVID-19, there was a significant or a steady decline. Scores of percent of students passing iRead decrease each year. After COVID, you see there was a drop, but then there was a rebound for the state of Indiana. And the most recent rebound was last year for the state of Indiana. There was a 5% increase. And they were right at 87% of 3rd grade students from Indiana passing iRead last year. Now we'll look at our results. Our chart is set up the exact same way, so each bar represents an assessment year and the percent of 3rd grade students from last year at School City Mishawaka only who passed iRead. What you will see is prior to COVID, we actually were increasing each year. We were closing the gap on the state performance, and we were increasing. However, after COVID, you will see that we had an even more significant drop than the state of Indiana. And so we had a significant drop in our scores the year after COVID, but we've been rebounding each year. And like the state, we saw a significant increase last year to the tune of about 10%, double that of the state, with 88% of our third grade students passing iRead last year. Here is a chart that compares School City of Mishawaka to Indiana. So School City of Mishawaka is in maroon and Indiana is in navy. The chart is set up the same way, but it puts the bars side by side so you can see the trends of Mishawaka versus the state of Indiana. The point I really wanted to get across here was last school year was the first year that School City of Mishawaka in probably over a decade has outperformed the state of Indiana in iRead. This has been a true collective effort of the students, teachers, principals, staffs, and families. We've been intentionally celebrating and recognizing this accomplishment. On the left, you'll see this great post and shout out that Jen Smith made on social media for Liberty Elementary. They were recognized by the State Board of Education, and actually we went to that meeting to represent Liberty Elementary for their accomplishment in their growth of their students, specifically students who are exceptional learners. We also, at our Welcome Back celebration, unveiled the Game Changer Award, and we selected Jen Waite, a third grade teacher at Twin Branch Elementary, for her significant growth of her students from second grade to third grade and their ultimate iRead pass rate from last school year. One trend that I can hope you're seeing through this presentation and through our scores is a theme of growth. And I don't even think I do justice in really showing how much growth our students have truly shown and third grade has shown from the point that they enter our doors at kindergarten and get to the point that they take iRead. But I'm gonna show a few graphs to help hopefully put that point across. This following graph shows our kindergarten readiness. Last year, we started giving the KRA, which measures kindergarten readiness for our students when they enter kindergarten. The green represents the percent of our students that were demonstrating readiness, meaning they walk through our doors ready to learn and where they should be for kindergartners. Orange and yellow mean that they're still approaching kindergarten readiness. Last year, 20% about were ready for demonstrating the readiness for kindergarten. We're giving the assessment again this year, and we're seeing the typical trend. And if you ask that to any of our kindergarten teachers, they will confirm that's typically what we see. You get a group of students, 20% of them are demonstrating kindergarten readiness. So think about that trend over time. 20% of our students are ready for kindergarten. Fast forward to third grade, and we're at an almost 90% pass rate. So that really demonstrates all the way from kindergarten to third grade the impact we're having on these students every day. To further that point, this shows our second grade assessment results from iRead. New in the past 2 years, second grade has been taking iRead, so we've been able to see the results, and if they pass as a second grade student, they don't need to take it again in third grade. This shows that in 2024, we had about 40% of our second graders were proficient, and that are represented in the maroon compared to the navy blue of Indiana. Last year, we were at almost 60% proficient on iRead, far exceeding the second grade at the state level. Just a continuous representation of the impact that we have from when they step in our doors as kindergartners until they actually take the iRead assessment. This year, as we move forward, we have a new group of students. So that presents new challenges, but also new opportunities. We're going to continue to do what has been working in Mishawaka, and that's looking at the data and responding to it and building reading plans for our third grade students and collaborating within our school and with our families because we know we have to do it together to make a difference. We're very proud of the work of our staff, our students, and our schools, and ready for this new challenge with this new group of students. At this time, I'd be happy to open for any questions or comments.
My comments are this, is that in the past, I have been extremely frustrated or maybe even disappointed with the growth of our elementary kids, right? And their ability to read and acknowledge and learn. But I will tell you that the optimism and the growth that you have in the charts and the data you have is encouraging. And I am very excited to see, again, what 2025, 2026 looks like for our elementary kids moving forward. And I think if you change the perspective of their academic success, you change the success of their behavior and their perception of what school is. So good job. And I'm glad that we're making the changes and doing the efforts. And I can't wait to see the results a year from now. So thank you.
Thank you.
9 is business and operations. 9.01, approval of the sale of 87 square feet of land to the state of Indiana. Mr. Killenbeck. It's a lot of land. It's a big chunk. It's almost a driveway.
President Parks, school board members, and Dr. Stevens. So yes, I am here asking for approval to sell 87 square feet of Twin Branch property. It's at the corner of Ballard and 933 or Lincoln Way. This is NDOT contacted us, came and talked to us about they need this section of land because they're going to be doing some upgrades to the roadway and the ADA compliant ramps for the crosswalks. This land here in no way will disrupt any of our daily activity at the school. It's up by the roadway. It's not anything that we need for anything. So they did do an appraisal and compared it with other land, like lands in Mishawaka, which come up to be $375. They are offering us $1,000 for this 5.75, I think it is, by 15-foot section of land at the intersection.
Nice. Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So I'm doing second. Any questions about that 87 square feet? A lot.
No, not about the 87, but how much land did we get when they did the Ballard connection and we got that section there?
Way more than 87 square feet.
Oh, I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how much it is, but if you've been by there, that whole
it's very
section
impressive.
from the fence to where Ballard, probably the farthest west point where Ballard used to.
Zigzag.
Yeah, so, or the farthest east point, because they moved it all the way to where it ran north from Vistula. So we got all that. They've actually, they also paid for fencing to link up with our older fencing, and they also just completed the irrigation and connected that with our irrigation system as well.
Good.
So I'm not sure exactly what size it is, but it's
Considerable.
maybe a little more than
87 feet.
Mr. O'Hara would like, because it's just going to create a little bit more area to watch when kids are out there playing.
Thank
At
you.
some point, we'll discuss with Mr. O'Hara too, whether or not, if we take the fence down, our old fence, and just create that all open, or if you still want some kind of separation. We're not quite sure what we're gonna do with that yet, but we'll bring that up in the future.
Awesome. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.02, resolution regarding education fund revenue for 2025, 2026. Mrs. Dutoy?
Thank you, President Parks. As we move into the collective bargaining season, we just want to designate a couple categories of funding so it's not included within any new funding as we move forward. There's $25,000 we want to set aside for supplemental payments for certified teachers in case it was needed. And then also with curriculum rental now included in our basic grant payments, it's not a separate amount. We project that we'll receive approximately $720,000 from the state, but then I also want to set aside $499,000 from what I believe will not be spent from last year's money. So we have like $1.2 million to put towards curriculum rental next year and not have to take a common school loan out and add to our debt service.
That is music to our ears.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, we need a motion.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. 9.03, 2026 calendar year budget review. Mrs. Dutoy?
Thank you, President Parks. It's only 25, but we're looking at 26 and the effects that the new legislation will have on Mishawaka. Okay, which button moves it forward? Oh, I got it. The budgeted funds, there are six of them, because rainy day, we do budget, but we don't have we do not have any intent of spending any of the funds. It's just in case there are any unforeseen expenditures, it's already appropriated. We don't have to go through an additional appropriation procedure to use the funding. The debt service fund, it's made up of the various different bonds and the common school loans that we have outstanding. It is increasing next year due to it. We now start paying on the Hums building in July, so it will be going up approximately $550,000. The capital budget for the referendum debt service fund is actually going down $2,000 in the payment, so that will help in that area.
Do we pay the electric bill? No, just kidding.
Yeah, I signed the claim yesterday. Okay.
Or maybe it's just the TV. You're fine.
Operator error. So this just explains about the curriculum rental, how we're projecting $720,000 and the $499, and that we no longer get approximately $150 per student is what we're projecting. We got $154 last year, but it just depends on how many students are enrolled in the state. The referendum operating fund, in years past, there have been several different things coming out of there, but with the legislation, I've shifted all the technology because it has to be an allowable expense. So all technology staff, all technology budget is going into the referendum, along with 4 social workers and the SRO. So that pretty much makes up all that budget. So anything that was educational has been shifted to the education fund. The education fund lists what all is in there. It's basically anything else that deals with the students, the instruction of the students, and the staff that handles that. The education fund revenue based on the basic grant projection, the academic, performance grant, special education, career and technical, and the non-English, they're projecting that we'll receive $46,888,421. When we take out the $720,000 for the curriculum rental, it leaves $46,574,421. It's an increase of $21,249 over the 2025 school year. And this is the expenditures projected out of the education fund compared to 2025. I broke down the benefits so it was more transparent as to what everything was. It's just not salary and benefits lumped together. And my goal is by the end of the weekend to have the actual spreadsheets from Gateway uploaded to the website. So if you want to break it down further and see building by building what the costs are, it'll be uploaded also. Education fund summary, we're hoping by the end of 2025 or 2026, it'll still be a balance of $8,890,952, which is approximately 3 months of payroll, which is what's recommended. The operations fund, the fund. Levy-wise, we're supposed to receive over $4 million, but with a 2.9 circuit breaker, we're gonna get to keep about 1.6 of that. So there'll be some creative, trying to really shift some things. That's why Tech went to the referendum fund, trying to provide some relief to this fund. So we're really trying to watch our costs, and fortunately, we don't have to buy any buses this year, next upcoming year. And this is just a breakdown of all the expenditures as projected for compared to 25 for 26. And hopefully by the end of 26, we will have a large $51,927 balance in the operations fund.
Yikes.
The rainy day is doing better because it's growing with its interest. It's just sitting there. So we hope to have, by the end of December 26, $3,750,000. And we did appropriate $950,000 just in case something would happen to come up. And this is our bus replacement plan. We do not have to purchase any buses next year, so that will help the budget. And our capital project listing is topped off at the top by HUMS because we'll be starting that in next month. Then asset-wise, it's mostly mowers, some things for the stadium that we will be looking to purchase if the money's available. And that's what we're hoping to achieve next year.
Great. I think Hums is selling candy bars. I think maybe they need to get us some boxes so we can start selling some candy bars. Okay, thank you for the info. 9.04, Form 3 Budget Notice. Per Indiana Code, the Budget Form 3 was posted to the Indiana Gateway website following approval of the August 6, 2025 board meeting. Form 3 notified taxpayers that the public hearing on the proposed 2026 budget would be held at John Young Middle School on September the 10th, 2025. No action shall be taken by the board on the budget during the public meeting. On October 8th, 2025, the budget will be brought to the board for adoption. So at this point, I'm going to open it up for public comment. Don't rush the podium. There's plenty of time. 1,000. Okay, I'm going to close that public hearing. Thank you. 9.05, public hearing for the 2026 school bus replacement plan. Notice has been given to taxpayers of School City of Mishawaka. For the proper offices of School City of Mishawaka will conduct public hearing on the year 2026 proposed bus replacement plan pursuit to the IC 20-40-18-6. Following the public hearing, the proper officers of School City of Mishawaka will adopt the proposed plan to present or with revisions at the October 8, 2025 school board meeting located at Bigger Elementary School. Again, I'm going to open for public comment. 1,000. Okay, I'm going to close that. 9.06, public hearing for the 2026 capital projects plan. Notice has been given to the taxpayers of School City of Mishawaka that the proper offices of School City of Mishawaka will conduct a public hearing on the year of 2026 proposed capital projects plan to pursuit of the IC 20-40-18-6. Following the public hearing, the proper officers of School City of Mishawaka will adopt the proposed plan as presented or the revisions at the October 8, 2025 board meeting as located at Bigger Elementary School. Again, I'm going to open up for public hearing, and I'm going to close it. 9.07, resolution regarding the use of public records or commercial purposes. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you, President Parks. The resolution in front of you tonight for your consideration essentially allows School City of Mishawaka the opportunity to deny certain records requests, public records that are going to be used specifically for commercial purposes. As I said earlier in the meeting, the City of Mishawaka passed a similar resolution on Monday night, and we're trying to follow suit just to make sure that we're providing information to personal entities that need it for the right purposes, not for commercial purposes in terms of trying to sell that information and or trying to get a leg up on competition. They certainly can put in a bid for the appropriate items or services that we're looking to proceed with, but they don't need to necessarily always inquire and go about it in the way they have in the past. So with that, I'm happy to entertain questions about this particular resolution, but if not, recommend that you approve the resolution regarding the use of public records for commercial purposes as presented.
So moved.
Second. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 10 is policy updates. 10.01, adoption of policies. Mr. Troyer?
Thank you, President Parks, Dr. Stevens, members of the board. Tonight, we seek approval of some policy updates. The following proposed policies are being presented for a first reading due to the urgency in aligning with recent legislative updates. It is recommended that the board waive the second reading and proceed with adoption at this meeting to ensure timely compliance. Summary of these proposals: the proposed policy updates reflect changes required by the June 2024 and the July 2025 legislative updates. These revisions address key areas including the use of cell phones by students, attendance, mandatory curriculum updates, audio, video, and digital recording of meetings, student privacy and parental access of information, student assessment, supplemental teacher payments, enrollment procedures, anti-harassment, and bullying, student discipline, suspension and expulsion, search and seizure. In addition, policy 1662, 2266, 3362, and 4362 are revised to update the corporation's designated anti-harassment compliance officers. Policy 5330, new policy 5330.01, and revised form 5330F1 are included to update guidance on student medication use. These policies are being presented for a first reading. Given the need for a timely alignment with recent legislative changes, it is recommended that the board waive the second reading and move to adopt the policies as presented.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
11, Superintendent's Report and Action Items. Dr. Stevens?
Thank you, President Parks. First, a quick shout out to Mr. Troyer for bringing the adoption of policies. He's sort of taken the lead on that, along with Mrs. Smith, to work with Neola on the backside. And it's a tall task. It's a tall order. You know, folks don't think about policy until you need it, and then by that time, oftentimes it's a little bit too late if you're trying to think of that revision. So thank you, Mr. Troyer, for helping keep tabs on all of that fun. Next up, Jane Wright already talked about the job fair and the trunk or treat, so I'm not gonna steal her thunder, plus she does it better in a costume than I do anyway. I will mention that September's Game Changer Award, we unveiled that, and that was Courtney Hahn of Mishawaka High School. We appreciate the work she does to benefit the students at the high school, and we look forward to highlighting another staff member next month as well. So we certainly try to highlight that teacher. We put them on social media, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna say a little something at a board meeting, though they're not required to attend the meeting. But we really appreciate all the staff, but certainly highlight Mrs. Hahn in the month of September. Next up, just so everybody knows, the public hearing prior to bargaining, Indiana Code 2029-6-1, requires a public hearing between the administration and the association prior to the bargaining window. The School City of Mishawaka will hold this hearing at the Administration Center Friday, September 12th at 2:30. The board is not required to attend, but like the general public, all are welcome to attend if they so desire at that time. So, and I believe that public notice is posted on the website as well. And then last but not least, John Young Middle School, special thank you to Mrs. Cummings and your staff and students for hosting tonight's meeting. As always, we want to thank Alan Walker, Matt Modlin, Matt Rendell, and the Mishawaka Network students that always come and figure out a way to make things work on our first road show of 2025-26 school year. So with that, President Parks, I'm happy to entertain questions the board may have. But if there are none, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you. 12 is communications. 12.01, public announcements. The next meeting of School City of Mishawaka Board of School Trustees is October the 8th, 2025 at Bigger Elementary. If there's nothing else to come before the board,